everyone, welcome back to my channel, and today we are going to discuss chemistry paper of 2025 as paper 1 and for A levels, and we are going to discuss the multiple choice questions, that how can we figure out the correct answer. So let's start with our this MCQ session. Number 1 is ICl₃ reacts with water in a redox reaction. So what are the numbers V, X and Z in the correct balance equation? So let's apply first. Let's apply this 2 and 3 and let's figure out that what can be the correct one. Okay, let's apply 2 first of all. Let's see 2 ICl₃ plus 8 H₂O. It's only application, you don't have to like think because they have already given you the solution. Y is Hi plus Z is HiO3, and again we have, sorry, here I missed something, and here we have Z HClO3. Let's see what can be the correct answer over here. If we apply 2 over here and for X we apply 8, can it be applicable? And for Z we apply 1 here and 1 here. Let's see how many iodine are there. There 1 and a 2. Here we have 1 because there is no number we have written here yet, and here we have again 1. It's 2. So this condition is satisfactory. Next, move to chlorine or chloride ion. So there are total 6 chloride ions. So if we place 8 over here, so chloride ion 8 already over here, so this is not balanced at all. So let's now apply 3. Let's apply 3 over here. Let's apply 3. So 3 here with V, and with X we apply 8, and with Z we apply 1. So let's see whether whether the condition for this iodine and this chloride ion is satisfactory or not. So we have VICl₃. So iodine is 3 over here, and here there must be some number, maybe 2 or maybe more. So 1 here, and it can be possible. Let's move to chloride ion. So there are 9. So 1 over 8 over here and 1 over here. So this condition is more satisfactory as compared to the earlier one. So this can be your answer. C. The next question says the rate of reaction between a reactive metal and excess of dilute acid is investigated. The total volume of the hydrogen gas produced is recovered after recorded after every 30 seconds for 3 minutes. So they have given you, they say that P is the value between the first 30 seconds, this one, and this Q is the value of the last 30 seconds. Let's see what is the difference between these. So we just calculate the rate of reaction. So how do we calculate the rate of reaction? It would be the reactant produced or the product used, consumed, whatever. So here we are talking about the hydrogen gas produced. So let's consider hydrogen gas, or the volume of hydrogen gas divided by time. So let's calculate it for the first 30 seconds. The total change in the volume is 64, and it's divided by 30. So we need to calculate the answer. 64 divided by 30 would be 2.133 unit is cubic centimeter per 30 seconds. So we are writing the unit as second. So the next one is 150 to 180. The difference in the concentration or the volume of hydrogen gas is 6 divided by 30. So answer would be 0.22 cubic centimeter, let's say, in seconds. So what is the value for P minus Q? Let's subtract this. 2.133 minus 0.22. So answer is 1.93. So this is your answer for this one calculation. So we need to calculate everything. Keep in mind, you should know how to use your calculator smartly. Next one, in a diagram, curve X was obtained by measuring the volume of oxygen produced during a decomposition of 100 cubic centimeter of 1 mole per cubic decimeter hydrogen peroxide. So we have a reactant, hydrogen peroxide. It is decomposing into water and oxygen. So this is the common reaction, and we have added manganese oxide as a catalyst. So what can be the reason they're asking that why this curve y is produced? Now keep in mind, now look at the volume. If we increase the concentration of reactant, only then the volume is more. Otherwise, if we change the conditions like temperature or pressure, the volume of product produced would be same. It won't be higher, it won't be low, it would be same, only there would be change in the curve. So now here, if the volume of oxygen formed is more, it means there are more reactants. So what condition can satisfy us? Number one, adding more manganese oxide. So manganese oxide is a catalyst. Catalyst is not being used up. It only provides an alternative way, or by changing the activation energy or by lowering the activation energy. Number two, adding some zero point 0.1 hydrogen peroxide. Yes, it can be possible when we increase the concentration of reactor, more product is produced. Adding water, no, it won't help because it makes the solution dilute. And raising the temperature, no, raising the temperature won't increase the concentration or the volume of oxygen. So the only correct option is B. The next question states the first 7 ionization energies of an element between lithium to neon in the periodic table are shown. So it means we are talking about period number 2, and we are moving from lithium to neon 3 to 10. So these are the values, that 130, 3390, 5320. So let's look at what can be the electronic configuration of this one. So now this one is a tricky one. Let's look at the trend. Here there is a jump of 2000, again 2000, again almost 2000, and then 4000, and then 2000, and now here there is a very high increase. So 71 minus 13 is, let me get 58, I guess 58,000 kilojoules. The difference is 58 thousand kilojoules. So it means that here there is a new shell, there is removal of electron from some shell which is more, or which is nearer to the nucleus. So it means there are, how many electrons are left? 1 2 3 4 5 6. So there's 6 electrons in the second shell. Now what satisfies this condition? 2s2 no, 2s2 2p1 no, 2s2 2p4 yes. So your answer is C. The next question states the reaction of hydrogen with oxygen is this. So this one is a combustion reaction basically. Whenever we talk about oxygen reacting with some other thing, we call it combustion. So which expression corresponds to the standard enthalpy change in this reaction? Let's say enthalpy change is simple. Enthalpy change of formation of water minus the enthalpy change of this reactant. So we say the product minus reactant. It's simple. So what is what condition can be satisfied here? We are talking about, let's say, let's analyze this equation. We have 2 hydrogen, so it must be this A or it must be D. Okay, now what can be deduced from it? So here I have already told you it's product minus reactant. So this cannot be possible at all. So the only possible reaction is this A. The next question says P is a compound that burns in an oxygen to give carbon dioxide. So 2.20 of P contain this one carbon and this one hydrogen. When P is added to the solution of sodium carbonate, bubbles of gases are seen. So let's first of all calculate the empirical formula. So how to calculate empirical formula? There are 4 simple steps that you need to follow. You need to calculate the mass. The mass of carbon is already given, which is 1.20. The mass of hydrogen is 0.20, and the mass of oxygen is missing. So let's add this and then subtract it from 2.20. So it would be like 1.2 and it will 1.40. So 2.20 minus 1.40. So your answer would be, so 2.20 minus 1.20 minus 0.20, answer would be 0.80. So let's calculate their moles by dividing by their respective mass number of atomic masses. This would be divided by 12, this would be divided by 1, and this would be divided by 16. So the answer here would be 0.1, 0.2, and 0.8 divided by 16 is 0.05. So let's divide it with smallest moles. The smallest moles are 0.05, so 0.05, 0.05 and 0.05. So the answer would be here 2 and 4 and 1. So the empirical formula is C2H4 and O. So what satisfies this condition? So it can be, let's say, this one. No, C2H4O. Okay, this can be this one A, and this can be this D, because these one are not satisfying this condition. There are two oxygen over here, and here again there are two oxygen, but they are not satisfying the condition. Okay, let's move to the next statement. When P is added, sodium carbonate is produced. So this is everything. So this cannot be possible because it is an aldehyde. Aldehyde cannot react with sodium carbonate to produce carbon dioxide. So ketones can also be, so here we have CO, which is a ketonic group, and this cannot be the answer. So let's check with B and C. Let's see, B cannot be possible. So the only correct answer that is left is this D, and it's a carboxylic acid, and carboxylic acid react to give carbon dioxide with sodium carbonate. Next question states substance W has a physical properties these and these. So what is this substance? Aluminum oxide, iron, silicon dioxide, and sodium fluoride. So first of all, let's check the solubility. The solubility means iron is insoluble in water. It can be, let's say, silicon dioxide is not soluble at all. Sodium fluoride is soluble. Aluminum oxide is insoluble. So this cannot be answer, and this cannot be answer. The only two options left are aluminum oxide and iron. So melting point is high. Both satisfies this one. This one is ionic and this one is metal already. Boiling point is high, satisfies. Poor conductor if solid. So iron is a metal, it's a good conductor. So the only correct answer that is left, because ionic compounds, they are good conductors only in liquid or molten state, because at that time their ions are exposed and they can conduct electricity. But if they are in solid, they are in lattice, and they cannot conduct electricity because the ions are like packed, or they are not exposed to conduct electricity. Question number 8 states which diagram represent the lattice structure. Quite easy to understand. Let's say they have given us a key. So we are ruling out this atom. Atom is not present in the structure of sodium chloride. It's an ionic lattice, and it can be B, it can be C, and it can be D. Okay. Let's see whether it can be B or C, because this structure is for metals. This is it's a sea of electrons, and there are like positive ions are embedded. So these one are not options. Let's look at B and C. So when we talk about their sizes, because the sizes are only are different, otherwise the arrangement is same. So if we talk about sodium ion have only 2 shells, while chloride ion have 3 shells. So chloride ion is bigger than sodium. So this is the only correct option left. Next question says 9. An aqueous solution X contains substance HQ, which behaves as a weak acid. So let's see. The solid salt NQ is added to X. Okay, it's a common ion effect. What happened to hydrogen concentration and the pH in X? Okay, let's see. Let's apply the Le-Chatelier principle and the common ion effect. It's HQ, and here we have hydrogen ions and the Q ions. So we are adding a salt NaQ, which is going to decompose into the sodium ions and the Q ions. Now according to Le-Chatelier principle, what will happen? Now the concentration of Q increases. So to minimize this H positive, it reacts with hydrogen ions and move the reaction in the backward direction. Now there is decrease in hydrogen ions. So if there is decrease in hydrogen ion, it means the pH increases. So the correct option is this B. So the next question states 10. Dinitrogen tetroxide decompose reversibly and extend endothermic process because the value is positive. So the conditions are changed. So Kc, the equilibrium constant, it changes from 1.15 to the sorry, into 10 raised to power minus 1 to 1.70 into 10 raised to power 3 mole per cubic decimeter. So there is increase in equilibrium constant. Now what can increase this? The temperature, that is for very sure. Now we have a positive enthalpy change, delta H. It means the reaction is endothermic, and keep in mind increase in temperature always favors the endothermic reaction. So the correct option is C. The temperature is increase. It's an endothermic, and increase in temperature favors endothermic. Keep in mind. So this is all for this video. So let's discuss the other MCQs in the next video. See you there. Have a great day. Goodbye. And please follow me on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok to have an updates.